Well, hello all. Well, we have climate change showing its ugly face all over the planet. We have a big fire in Hawaii. We have huge floods in Alaska and other parts of the world. We have severe heat in the U.S., especially the southeast and the southwest and the south itself. They're saying that parts of Florida feel like 150 degrees when you put the heat index in charge. The humidity and the heat is causing severe wet bulb temperatures. And we're just starting this stuff. But a lot of people are asking Biden to declare a climate emergency. And this is what Biden says. Advocates say Biden should declare a climate emergency, but U.S. President Biden said he has no plans to formally declare a climate emergency. He claimed that his climate policies are sufficient. Biden pointed to the $368 billion that was included in the Inflation Reduction Act to invest in clean energy production and to conserve land. He has rejoined Paris Climate Agreement that Trump dropped out of. As advised, he is taking all steps his experts have said are necessary to fight the climate crisis. That's all you have to do. There's nothing more that Biden can do, he says, that is necessary. NASA climate scientist Pete Kalmus recently wrote in an op-ed piece that not declaring an emergency is anti-science, that even NASA stands behind declaring a climate emergency. NASA said we're going to continue to move forward to do everything that we can just here in the United States, but globally to be a leader in fighting climate change. So NASA's all for fighting climate change, and they said they would declare a climate emergency, but they don't have the authority to do so. By Biden declaring a climate emergency, it would unlock the tools that this declaration would unlock. As numerous climate action groups have outlined, a climate emergency declaration would be far from a symbolic gesture. The action would allow the White House to reinstate the federal ban on crude oil exports, which Trump took off. This could slash fossil fuel emissions by as much as 165 million tons per year, and oil and gas drilling in more than 11 million acres of U.S. federal waters, halt the investment of hundreds of billions of dollars in fossil fuel projects abroad, unlock federal funds that could be used to construct renewable energy infrastructure, while we wait millions of people, animals, and plants from Asia to West Europe and the U.S. face temperatures close to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Earlier this year, while Biden approved the Willow project in Alaska, which is a huge drilling project, this project will produce more than 600 million barrels of crude oil over 3 decades and lead to roughly 280 million tons of carbon emissions. So there you go. See, so there's so much more that Biden can do without just listening to his quote-unquote experts. Him and his experts really have no idea what they are talking about when it comes to climate change. He does whatever the corporations want him to do or will let him get away with by tinkering around the edges. A little bit here, a little bit there, and honestly, I bet most of that money earmarked for climate change ends up in somebody's pocket. So honestly, Biden, why don't you put the declare an emergency and let us use a little bit more money and really cut down on some of these emissions? But you could also stop the Willow project, but apparently you have no intentions of doing that. And another thing that you've just started not too long ago was the building of lots and lots of plants down in the East Coast that converts natural gas into liquefied natural gas, then puts it on ships and sends it over to Europe. We could end all that nonsense. All that's going to cause more climate emergencies that you can't even imagine. That's so much more pollution that you are directly in control of than you'll ever take out with your little measly axe that you put out there to bamboozle the sheep. Let's get together as a human species and let's end climate change as we know it and do the things that we really need to do, like end the use of fossil fuel. One other thing that Biden could do is put loads of money into colleges and universities on finding a way to convert into clean energy other than solar and wind and hydro. There's got to be something else out there, and we don't want to mess around with nuclear power either, because then we have to deal with all the nuclear waste and what to do with it, and what do we do if we get into another world war? What are we going to do with all these nuclear power plants that are going to be subject to bombing and other destruction from war? Not a good plan. Don't go for nuclear. Stupid idea. Just look at what's happening in Ukraine just with one power plant. So that's what our video is about today. I appreciate any comments you have, any suggestions to Biden that he needs to listen to about what he can do to fight climate change in a real way and not just some tinkering around the edges and calling it one of the greatest environmental pieces of legislation. Well, you don't have to have much to be the greatest legislation ever put out in the U.S. Let me tell you, the fossil fuel industry is in control of that, and the Republican Party here in the U.S. wants to completely eliminate any sources of clean energy completely and go fully on with fossil fuel development. What do you guys think of this? What is your thoughts? I appreciate all the ups, all the new subscribers, and definitely your comments. And until next time.